Morning peeps. I'm doing something a bit unusual today. I'm going to talk myself through the transfer. I might not even put this live. I might keep it as a private video, see how it goes. Because I'm a bit confused this week. So I've got 2-3 transfers. And where are we? Initially, I was going to do Kane out for Arnautovic or Vardy. In the end, I decided I'd probably go with Arnautovic. Most people seem to be going that way, although Vardy's got better scoring odds this week. But I've also already got Maddison in midfield, and I don't have any West Ham players, so I'm kind of not quite sure. So when I'm not sure, I do my golden rules, which is to always go with the cheapest option. I'm not totally sold on Arnautovic though, but his stats are good. But he only got 11 goals last season. I think he was a midfielder last season, wasn't he? So he got the benefit of the extra points. So his total points weren't that fantastic. But they have got good fixtures, but so have Leicester. But I'll go with him. And then I was thinking about taking out for my second transfer, either leaving it. But leaving it makes no sense because Arnautovic is paying $2.60 to score this week, whereas Kane's only $2.20. So in theory, that wouldn't be a good transfer because I'd be bringing in someone less likely to score this week than Kane is. So I thought, well, maybe not the ideal time to do it because away to Leicester, although West Ham do play better away. So I was thinking of doing a double switch and taking this character out and bringing in Ozil. That was my plan because I've read a lot of good stuff about Ozil this week. So I thought about doing that, and I'd still have 3.4 million in the bank, which is quite a lot, isn't it? And it gives me, I've not even got a cheap 4.5 midfielder now. I've got all 8 attacking players. I've got 3 million in the bank. And Richarlison and Fraser rotate really well going forward, so I could keep benching one of those for the foreseeable. And one of them's always got a good fixture. So I looked at that. It'll give me Ozil against Palace this week, and he's obviously in top form. So that's an option. That's what I was talking about doing on the blog. It's an interesting one, because then I'd have one transfer next week, but I wouldn't really have any urgent need to replace anybody. And I'd still have all that money in the bank, so I could even, if I wanted to, I probably wouldn't want to take Richarlison out before a home game to Brighton now, but Fraser could be turned into anyone up to 9 million. Or, if I did take Richarlison out, next week I could do Richarlison to De Bruyne. Then I'd have De Bruyne, Salah, Maddison and Ozil in midfield. Although, and then Fraser could be dealt with later, you know, he could be like him and Ings maybe could share bench duties. Because Fraser's still probably quite good value because I only paid 5.8 for him. So that looks like quite interesting. Although Ozil's a bit of a... I'm not sure now about Ozil because they have got 3 of the next fixtures are really tough. Next 3 of the next 6. And another one of the fixtures is Wolves away, I think. So they're not overly great fixtures. And Emery doesn't seem to like to settle on any particular formation. So we could see Ozil put back out wide. I mean, I've already been caught with Arsenal this season with them messing around with the manager, so it's not 100% settled where Ozil's going to play. So the fixtures aren't okay. It's good this week. So then I thought, well, maybe not Ozil, maybe just get De Bruyne in now. But then again, City have got Tottenham. We're still not really sure about De Bruyne. It's a wee bit early to be bringing De Bruyne in, I think. So another thing I could have done is got Hazard in because I haven't got him and I'm going to want him for the Fulham game, and Chelsea have got good fixtures coming up, so I could have just done this move. I could do that move now, but then again Hazard might not play against Burnley, so it's a bit early to be doing that one, I think. So it's a bit early to be doing that one. The Ozil one's a bit of a risk and Ozil hasn't got fantastic fixtures. So that put me off that one. And it also like compromises my structure a little. So then when I looked at the bookmaker odds, I saw that Kane was actually only 220 to score, whereas Arnautovic was more. So it kind of makes no sense just doing that as a single transfer this week. All these have got reasonable fixtures this week except Richarlison. So I thought, well, I could take Richarlison out this week. But I've got the same problem, who to bring in for him. And he's got a home fixture against Brighton next week. And if he did score against Man United at that this week, he'd be in huge demand. And he's still got a lot of good potential, hasn't he? So it's a risk. So all these other players, like Fraser and that, are better off being removed next week, probably. So I was thinking I could even do Monreal this week or Cook. So I could probably do without Cook this week and play with Richarlison at Man United. And Bournemouth have got bad fixtures coming up. And again, Monreal's another one who's not... He's okay, but he's not irreplaceable. And I could do this move, which is quite a sexy wee move, but a bit lopsided too. I could take Monreal out and bring Alonso in, or Robertson. But I'm not overly keen on Robertson, to be honest. I don't know why, because he's probably guaranteed minimum of 6 points this week, isn't he, if he's not rotated. I don't think he will be rotated, but it's sometime he might be, whereas I don't think Alonso ever will. And I could bring Alonso in, who is pricey, but it would give me a Luiz and Alonso double up in defence. But then you look at the fixtures, you've got Chelsea are playing Burnley, and if Hazard doesn't play, Alonso could be super attacking this week. So we're away at Burnley. Then they're at home to Palace. And then they are home to Everton. So that's the next three fixtures, which are pretty good for Alonso. And he hasn't had any attacking returns for a few weeks. So I've kind of got away with not owning him so far. But it would be quite nice to buy him just as he did get attacking points, wouldn't it? So the next thing I've got to look at, here's all my bookmaker odds I use. Look for the clean sheets, and let's have a quick look at those while we're here. Chelsea $1.80. Never a second. Liverpool $1.44. So you're pretty much guaranteeing a clean sheet if you get Robertson in. But they've got a tough fixture next week, and I've not got great defenders next week, so Alonso would do better there. So they're the only two that are really considered. Oh, Watford are another one that could get a clean sheet. But not too many short-priced ones this week for a clean sheet. I think that's why my form tables are giving lots of high scores out. So I could just do that this week. Get Alonso in, which give me 2 free transfers. Then next week, bring in Arnautovic, who's home to Burnley next week. So he's going to have a much better chance of scoring next week. And also, it would be the right time to take Fraser out. So I could go... We'll look ahead and do that, because you've got to kind of work out what it looks like in terms of your team value, because Alonso might actually be causing me problems down the line if I'm spending too much money on a defender. So we'll put an Arnautovic in next. This is my next week's transfers. An Arnautovic in for Kane. And then I might decide I want Hazard. So can I still get Hazard? This is the big question, isn't it? Probably can, actually. Chelsea to Hazard. Where are we? I can. So that, peeps. So this could be my team as early as Monday after the game week started. I could do an Arnautovic in. Now that looks good, doesn't it? That does look good. So next week I could do an Arnautovic and Hazard in. And still have 0.3 in the bank. The only downside, I'd still have Cook, who hasn't got great fixtures. But I've got rid of Fraser, who had bad fixtures. All these have got okay fixtures. Next week I'd have a brilliant team, because I'd have Richarlison home to Brighton. Salah's got a bad fixture, but none are really too bad for him, are they? But all these other characters have got good fixtures coming up. So then that would leave me free to take out Cook at my leisure, you know. But no, that looks pretty good. I'm liking that. because I will want Hazard. The only reason I want Hazard is because in a couple of weeks, well, it's a bit more than a few weeks, but where is it? I'm sure they're playing Fulham at some stage. Yeah, game week 14. This is why I wasn't too keen on the Ozil business, because I start getting Ozil and De Bruyne, I cut myself off from Hazard. And at home to Fulham on that week, there's no other captain you're going to want, is there? Well, you could captain Salah at home to Everton, I suppose. But Hazard away to Fulham, at home to Fulham, it's a no contest in terms of captaincy. Because Man City have got, who have they got? Oh, they're home to Bournemouth, so you could go Aguero. There's a huge amount of riches that week, isn't there? But I'd say Hazard would be the number one choice. So I think that's gives me the option. That gives me the best option. So I think I've just worked out that I can get Alonso and this week, and it doesn't adversely affect me going forward. So I can do that without any repercussions. I'm not going to turn around next week and go, oh, I wish I hadn't bought Alonso because he's priced me out as so-and-so, because he hasn't really. I was looking at a couple of differentials actually for this week, which would have been mad, I think. But I was, maybe not. But I'll tell you what it's a pretty out of left field. I was thinking of doing it, Kane to Morata. Now don't laugh, peeps, but I think if Hazard is out this week, he's only 8.7 now, Morata. And he seems to have won, he's got his place back over Giroud. I was thinking of doing that this week. So I don't know why, but I've just got a sneaking feeling he's going to do something this week. But I won't do that, because that would compromise my plans, I think. Because I'm going to want an Arnautovic, because everyone's getting him. And I'd look a bit silly, wouldn't I, doing that? Yeah. No, I won't do that. I'll leave that for my differential team. You know, I've got another sneaky little team that I've got hidden away, and sort of thing I do in that team. It's actually doing quite well this season, but no, I won't do that. I'll play it with a straight bat, I think. Yeah, I will. I won't do that move. I think what I'll do, I'm thinking I've made my mind up now. I'm going to get Alonso in. I'm not too worried about the double up with David Luiz. Although the rest of my troops are pretty shoddy. But for the next 3 weeks, I'm going to want to play my 2 Chelsea ones. So then I just have to play one of these other people. And I can always change Cook in a couple of weeks. Or even, no, I don't think I'd change Wan-Bissaka, because he only cost me 4 million. And it seems pretty pointless to take him out. Cook would be a better option, because he's not that great, is he? Right then, peeps, that's about it. So my only decision this week, then, I'm going to have Alonso in instead of Monreal. And then I have to decide whether to play Cook at Fulham or Richarlison at Man United. I got Cook off the bench this week, actually. I was lucky to get Cook off the bench. A week before he got 6 points and he stayed on my bench. So, but Fulham are quite attacking, so I might go with Richarlison. Although I'm not expecting much at United, to tell the truth. But they are a bit not the usual United, are they? Right, okay then, peeps, that's it for this video. And hope you found it a bit interesting. But if you didn't, I did, because it's kind of cemented my plans of what I'm going to do. So I'll put it on anyway, whether you listen to it or not, it's up to you, isn't it? Okay, cheers then, peeps.